we'll get underway. People will join
Okay.
as we go along. So
Okay.
good evening. Oh, you want to?
Sorry, no, go ahead.
Okay, so good evening, everybody, and we on our final night here of lockdown. We had a quick 5-day lockdown for coronavirus here in Melbourne, and so on the last night of lockdown, it's a nice night to just kick up your feet, and hopefully we can enjoy some discussions with the Minister for Diaspora Affairs, for the member of Knesset, Minister Omer Yankelevich. And I want to firstly thank Tracy, who you can see on screen at the moment. I think you can see her. Yeah, so Tracy helped us organize tonight, and I want to thank you for the back and forth emails and accommodating us here at South Caulfield Hebrew Congregation. Of course, for everyone else who's watching in Australia. And again, welcome to everybody. I hope you're all keeping well. Hope you all managed through the past 5 days. At least it wasn't extended. We were all worried that it was going to be extended for longer, but Baruch Hashem, it hasn't been, and we can continue with our lives tomorrow by going out and going back to Shule and going to do whatever we wanted to do previously. So we are very fortunate to host the minister tonight. And I think just, obviously just with the back and forth, trying to find a conducive date for the minister made me realize how busy she actually is and how many, different people want to speak to her. And of course, all the work that she does as a member of Knesset, and of course, in her role as, which we'll hear about tonight, as the Minister for Diaspora Affairs. And I'm sure, having that portfolio keeps her very, very busy with different meetings and talks and guest appearances and all sorts of things. So we are very privileged, and we do feel very grateful that she's given us of her time tonight. And so just to give everyone a bit of, what we're going to go through tonight, the minister will just give a few opening remarks, and then I'll take the minister through about 20 minutes of questions and answers. And then she has time for a few minutes of any questions from those who have joined us here tonight live. So if you have any questions for the minister, please put it in the chat, and I'll bring it to the minister's attention at the end of our Q&A that I'll run with her, and then we'll have some closing remarks. So once again, Erev Tov to everybody, a good evening, and of course, good afternoon to our friends in Israel. And as Tracy told us, they're about to have some snow. So they're all getting ready to not know what to do with the snow, as you said. So is the minister ready with that for us? Okay. Is she on a different account?
Yes, the minister is here.
Is she coming on your computer? Oh, I see her.
No, she's here.
I will make her a co-host as well.
Fantastic.
And then she can unmute herself because we've muted everybody else.
Oh, okay.
Shalom, Erev Tov. Good evening. I'm very happy to be with you today. Toda raba.
Oh, thank you. We are very, very excited that you've, taken a bit of time out of your calendar. And as I was saying, I didn't realize you were on. But yeah, we just all very grateful. We've been announcing it the last couple of weeks, obviously after the last change, and a lot of people were very, very excited to hear this talk. And I know a lot of people are going to watch on Facebook and on YouTube afterwards when we posted there. So thank you very much for giving us of your time tonight, and we greatly appreciate it. And of course, being from a community here in Australia, where I'm sure obviously that it's a very proud nation of, proud of Israel, a nation which the Jewish community very much feels part and parcel of Israel and connected to Israel. So many organizations here, do things for Israel. We have United Israel Appeal, the JNF, and so many different others, which, I guess their heart is with you in Israel. And I think your role, and I'm sure we'll be very fascinated to learn about it a little bit tonight, but certainly we've all felt a bit deprived of not being able to travel to Israel. I was booked to go to Israel twice in 2020 for United Israel Appeal mission and for another mission. And unfortunately, we have to just keep it on the back burner until we can go and be there in person in the Holy Land. And we all feel very privileged to have Israel. As a Jew living in the diaspora, having a strong Israel gives us confidence to practice our Judaism freely, to be able to feel confident that we have a place that's looking out for our interests, not just the countries which we reside in, but as Jewish people as well. So thank you very much, Minister Yankelevich, for giving us of your time. And I'm going to hand the microphone over to you just for a few minutes. And then, as I said, we'll go through some questions, and hopefully if anyone else has any questions, we'll put them at the end of the talk.
Toda raba. Thank you very much. Erev Tov. Shalom lekulam. I'm very happy to be here. It's such a pleasure to join the South Caulfield Hebrew congregation, and those joining from across Australia today. Toda Rabba, Rabbi Ravin, thank you for the warm invitation. And to all of you here for sharing your evening with us. Toda Rabba. Particularly, it is time when our physical connection are so limited. Opportunities such as this, this evening, to engage with all of you are particularly meaningful and inspiring. So thank you for the opportunity. I must tell you, being a minister of diaspora affairs during a global pandemic comes with its unique set of challenges. One on hand, the pandemic has highlighted the cracks within our world, particularly our Jewish world. Yet it has also highlighted the light that shines through this cracks. From the opening up of Jewish communities across the Arab world to the accelerated creation of Jewish online learning platform here in the office. In this spirit, the opportunity to be here and the effort that all of you put into making this happen is very meaningful for me as באמת תודה רבה, and a true testament to how close we are. This is very, very important for us here in the government, and I'm sure for you, to have the bridges we are building today, Be'ezrat Hashem, will remain long after the end of the pandemic. So with that said, Rabbi Ravin, I look forward to the conversation that follows and getting to know you and your beautiful and wonderful community.
Thank you very much. And we hope one day that, as you said, when the pandemic comes to an end, which will hopefully be soon, you can, have you ever visited Australia?
Actually, no. So Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm planning Be'ezrat Hashem to come visit you. Be'ezrat Hashem, as soon as we can. We just need to get over this pandemic. Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm looking forward to see you here in Israel.
Absolutely. Well, we hope we can be there, but if you do make your way to Australia, I'm sure every organization here would be very happy to host you and to wine and dine you, take you to all the kosher restaurants and to do, to see the beautiful Jewish community of Melbourne and of course across Australia.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. Thank you, Be'ezrat Hashem.
So it always fascinates me when you speak to people in politics, and I'm sure it's not easy being a politician in Israel, where everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got a view more than really anywhere else in the world. Lots of strong views and such. What made you decide to get into politics? In the flyer, I wrote that I think you were the first Haredi, female Haredi who was given a ministership. Is that correct?
Okay, so it's a good question. How did you get to politics? So yeah, I'm the first ultra-Orthodox minister, women in the government of Israel. But I have to be honest, my goal was never politics. It was always around social impact. I started my professional path as a teacher. I enjoyed teaching, but felt that my true calling was to work in creating structural change within Israeli society, particularly on behalf of minority communities, because I came from a minority communities, marginalized society, as we call it. And I believe that becoming a lawyer, I'm speaking about ages ago, becoming a lawyer from the Haredi community, which was not common in those days, I believe that it would open the door for such work. And as a lawyer, I think that I know that I was in the first separate class in the college for ultra-Orthodox women for a law teaching. Wow. And as a lawyer working within Israel's court system, I started to come across more and more Haredi women, artists and other professionals who had so much creativity and skills, but lacked resources and opportunities. In response, I created an organization called the Just Begun Foundation, which connected marginalized communities in Israel with opportunities and resources. The idea for this project began during my time in government. A Haredi woman interested in art could come asking for aid and learning opportunities. So I started to research the issue and discovered a new world. I realized that it's not just within the field of art and culture, but every field, academic, business, finance, law, where there is a significant gap between different societies, and I developed ways to provide tools and opportunities to Israelis, minority communities, without the expectations that individuals would need to change their religious belief or values or way of life. I believe that they need to change, they need to stay in their beliefs, in their values, in their life, but they need to be part of the society. And through this work, I connected to Mr. Benny Gantz, and I was a part of founding the party. And then he asked me to run for the Knesset. So at first I said, no, why? I'm very happy in what I'm doing. I believe in social activity. But he convinced me that this was an opportunity to create more impact. And it's right. In the end, in politics, you can make more impact within Israeli civil society. And with the bracha of my rabbis, I entered to politics. And during my time in the Knesset, I Be'ezrat Hashem, I worked to empower minority and traditional communities by providing more and more opportunities for them to gain tools and training for today's world. This is crucial. It's crucial to Israel's national identity and purpose, which is rooted in the values of inclusiveness and equal opportunities for all. But politics is just one angle of many in which to tackle social challenges in the long term, whether inside or outside of politics. Be'ezrat Hashem, I committed to advancing the positions of minority groups, and particularly women within Israeli society.
That's incredible. Kol hakavod to you for doing that, and I'm sure you serve as a role model for many in the religious community. Especially women who, as you know, and I don't know how tough it was for you to sort of break the mold and go, do law and to become a politician. Do you still feel there's a lot of just on that topic, just for a moment, do you still feel there's a lot of challenges for the religious woman to be able to, become career women and to take, get law degrees and so on? Do you think that's?
I will answer in one word because I can speak about it for an hour and a half, and I don't want to take the main conversation. But I feel that women and women from marginalized societies, they have a long path to go. And I feel that every time when you see a woman, not only from marginalized society, but when it's from Haredi society, it's much bigger. Every time I feel that people ask why she's there, who helped her, who put her there. Nobody thinks that maybe she's talented, maybe she worked very hard, maybe she has skills, maybe she's working very hard to be in the position that she's doing it well. Women and marginalized society has a lot of borders in the way, but this is part of process, and I believe in this process. I believe that marginalized society and women needs to be around the table of the government, around the table of a major position, because this is our face of our society, and this is part of the way, even that it's complicated and it's not easy.
Absolutely, and I think, as I said, just the fact that communities can see you and hear from you and talk to you about your journey and to see what success you've had. I think that is in itself inspiring, and hopefully will give others the courage to.
Maybe in a different meeting we'll have time to speak about the way and about the challenges that I had during my day, but this is different conversation.
Absolutely.
It's a very long conversation.
That's right. So we'll have to get you back at some point. So obviously you then entered in the Knesset, and I'm sure it's an interesting job on a day-to-day basis, but how did you, what is the position of Minister of Diaspora, and how do you envision that role, and what is that role really? Because I think a lot of us may not necessarily understand what your day-to-day role in that space is.
So thank you for asking this question. I think that it's very important for your community and for our connections. So as a Minister of Diaspora, at first I see myself as a bridge between the state of Israel, its society and government, and Jewish communities around the world. It is my responsibility to strengthen the relationship between us today, and in particular, to ensure that Israel is living up to its role as a nation state of the Jewish people. I aim to create a new conversation in the Jewish world today, on which celebrates the Jewish people as one unified family. Not 7 million in Israel and 8.5 million outside of Israel. We are one family. It's important to say that unity does not require uniformity. In fact, I believe that Jewish unity and Jewish diversity go hand in hand. When each member of the Jewish people brings their unique story and identity into conversation, it creates a richer and stronger Jewish world. And I think that the Jewish people are part of a shared covenant with a shared future, a common destiny. And we need to be there together. We as a nation of 15 million have a mutual responsibility to each other than when acted upon as the ability to transform our world. And the unity is so important for us, and my office acts upon this mutual responsibility. And my mission within the ministry allows me to find opportunities for mutual dialogue. Of course, we can debate, we can argue. It's okay. We are Jewish. This is part of our כמו שאומרים, חלק מהנשימה שלנו, but that first requires agreeing to sit down and see one another. This is the great power of the Jewish people, bringing each of our particularities to the table to create a richer, to create more interesting Jewish conversation. I believe that this is our obligation, and this is our responsibility as a government, and you as leaders and as a community, to build the bridges and the connection.
Absolutely. And I mean, firstly, the fact that there even is a ministership for diaspora community, I think for those of us living in diaspora, it's really comforting to know that Israel has one of the positions is the member that deals with diaspora affairs. But I was looking at your Facebook page over the months and seeing the incredible sort of things that you've been up to with talking to diaspora communities and sharing talks and sharing experiences. I mean, obviously with COVID, it hasn't been possible, but would your role usually get you to travel to different communities around the world, or it's more based from in Israel, or would you usually travel?
For sure we want to travel, but during Corona, we have to react according the law. So we're not traveling. Unfortunately, I traveled to LA. I hope to travel soon to another place, but I have to be honest, through Zoom, I've been in so many countries, so many communities. I feel part of many communities, unfortunately through Zoom, but Be'ezrat Hashem, I hope to meet you as soon as we can.
Absolutely. And I think, it must be so fascinating to hear from all the different, diaspora communities, to see how they are embracing their Judaism, how they connect to Israel. And I'm sure you've seen a whole range of feelings, a whole range of connections. Do you
Definitely.
normally engage with Australia much, like as a general community?
We are engaging, we're trying to engage with everyone. We have a lot of opportunities. We have a lot of programs in the office. We have new programs and initiatives that we build in the office, and we're trying to find the way to connect with communities, to connect with the different programs in different issues, to connect to our legacy, to connect to the new generation. We believe that we need to connect them to Israel, to connect them to the Jewish identity, to build the relationship with the Jewish community. There are so many challenges, so many opportunities in the Jewish world. Today, the Jewish people face both, I have to say, great challenges and great opportunities. And I believe that now, during this particularly difficult period where all of us, as you said, across the Jewish world are struggling, I feel that now is the time to come together and use all of our energy to imagination and to create, to build with our imagination, with our new innovative way to create new opportunities between us. And I want to say, with this said, with the pandemic, with the difficulties, we face so many challenges which have been intensified due to the coronavirus, decreasing loss of Jewish identity and engagement, rising anti-Semitism, both, by the way, online and offline, and the growing disconnect between Israel and world Jewry. Within these challenges, I feel that we have so many great opportunities that the Ministry of Diaspora Affairs, along with our partners, are acting upon on strength. So I want to give you few lights on things that we're doing.
Yeah.
For sure, one of them is strengthening Jewish identity. We must use all the modern and technological tools and resources at our disposal to create new ways to build Jewish identity at every stage of individual's life. I'll give you an example. We are building a Jewish education. Before I'll explain you what you do, what we're doing with education, I believe that Jewish education is being a challenge in this time, particularly during COVID. As you know, day schools are closing, and parents are struggling to pay tuition. That is why my office, as I started to say, is launching a global Jewish education hub, which will provide training opportunities and resources to the Jewish student and the educators around the Jewish world. And I want to tell you that this hub aims to transform the Jewish educational system into the 21st century by making it more available and affordable and engaging. This is the most important thing. On the connection between Israel and world Jewry, the relationship between us is critical to the Jewish people's future. So I feel that we are not connected enough. And malasot, I feel that we are disconnected a little bit. So in responding to this challenge, my first step was to move the office from a tactical to a long-term strategic approach. And we passed a government decision to accept the Diaspora First Ministry FESPER Kandel Committee report in July. And these decisions give the Israeli government responsibility in the relationship between Israel and world Jewry. And we are now acting on this mandate in several ways, including with the recent launch of Israel's Jewish Peoplehood Center. So a few words about the center. This center is organizing existing and the future opportunities in Israel, which aim to inspire Israelis to see themselves as a part of a larger Jewish people, and connect Israelis with world Jewry in innovative ways, because I felt that the Israeli society needs a little bit push to the peoplehood and to the connection.
But it's interesting, because there's so much. I mean, it's amazing to hear about the challenges and the opportunities and how, I love that you see it as opportunities. But I know for me, I was privileged to go 5 years in a row on Taglit, on the birthright program, which I know the government does, pour a lot of money into. And I always saw two things happen amongst all the other amazing things. One was that the Israeli soldiers who joined us on the program for 2 or 3 days, they were so inspired to see that Jewish people across the world actually think about them and connect with Israel. I mean, they were like, as you said, a lot of Israelis maybe don't even think that the world Jewry feels connected and feels part of Israel. So I'm sure what you're saying is so true. But also I felt that a lot of the students who were coming there, the young adults who didn't really have a connection with Israel beforehand, and I think it's a growing problem, like you mentioned, it was a great way to connect them.
So first of all, Nachon, yes. That's part of the things that we tried during the last year to do to build the connection. And part of it, I hope you heard about the consultation body. This is part of the most important thing that we decided to do, because we wanted to build the relationship, the connection, the talking. And this is one of the most exciting initiatives, the consultation body, the initiative that's taking place in our office. And I hope you heard about it.
So I did hear about
what?
Sorry, I heard about this consultation body. Can you give us more background about it? And
so I will give you, because I believe that this is the root. This will build the connection. It represents a real paradigm shift in the relationship between Israel and the Jewish world. I believe that this will be the bond. This will be the bridge. As you said, the Ministry of Diaspora at first is focused right now on standardizing a consultation process between the State of Israel and the world Jewry on matters regarding world Jewry. And the idea is grounded in an understanding of the importance of a mutual dialogue between Israel and world Jewry. And as you said, the young generation, as you said, they're coming to Masa, they're coming to Taglit, they're going back, but they don't feel that we are listening. We're having the conversation, and this consultation body, it represents the State of Israel taking responsibility for its side of the relationship, and acknowledging that decision made within our government directly impact Jewish communities around the world. Every decision that we have that impacts the Jews around the world, you have the possibility and you have the opportunity to be part of it, to sit with us and to talk and to have the conversation. And I think that as such voices such as all of yours are crucial for us to listen. We have to listen to and to appreciate when we're making the decision, because when we in the government making decisions that affect you in the end, in issues that you have part of it in the end, you need to be part of the conversation. We need to hear, we need to talk, we need to have the consultation body to build the dialogue. And over the last 2 months, we embarked on the consultation process, asking Jewish communities around the world how they see their vision, how they see the relationship with the government of Israel, and how they would like to be consulted, because there are so many questions around it. And I want to tell you that I'm very proud of it. But we've held 14 round tables with close to around 200 individuals, including, by the way, from Australia, asking questions such as, who represent world Jewry? It's a question, and on this we wanted to consult with you. On what topics should we consult you on? It's also a question that we had to consult before we're building the consultation body. How can we make this productive dialogue? We want the dialogue to be productive, and we want really to build the conversation. And this evening in Israel, we are actually tonight, by you it will be already night or morning, but we actually presenting the insights from this process in an event with Mr. Nathan Sharansky, and Be'ezrat Hashem, we're moving forward to the action stage based on the roundtable's feedback and all the recommendations that we got from the communities, from the people. And broadly, I will share that the round table revealed a real desire across the Jewish world to develop a deeper conversation with Israel, and the need for consultation to be an ongoing dialogue, modeled and formalized within many areas of the government, from the Ministry of Diaspora to the Knesset Committee to the Ministers' Cabinet, to be on the table. Your opinion needs to be on the table, and I believe that Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach, and we'll do it. We started and we'll continue doing Be'ezrat
Well,
Hashem.
I think the fact that, once again, I mean, kol hakavod to you for, seeing this project and creating this project of consultation, because I think you're right. I think, a lot of people may feel that Israel doesn't care what we think. We're not living in Israel. We don't have a say in Israel. And I think for you to raise a whole consultation, discussion, and dialogue is wonderful. And just curious if those results, are they something which will be for public to be able to read or to learn from?
First of all, you're more than invited to be with us tonight and to hear the results. And if you feel that it's too late at night, so I will ask Tracy to have a meeting with you and to give you a lecture about the results, or to send you the results. And if you want, and if we have a few minutes and Tracy wants, she can give you maybe highlights of the result of the Akdama for the evening, few minutes before the evening.
That would be
pleasure, Tracy. Tracy, welcome.
That would be amazing. Thank you. So we got a few questions that have come in from those who are watching live. Are you happy to take a couple of questions, Minister?
Yeah, for sure. I just want to give Tracy a few seconds the opportunity to share with you the.
Please. That would be amazing. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you. So we're presenting the insights this evening with our recommendations. And we discovered several things. The first is that in terms of representation, it needs to be a mix of institutional players and representatives from religious streams, as well as non-institutionalized players. So we see it as a mix of both. I saw that was one of the questions. And we hope to both specify topics, meaning starting with consensus issues such as, let's say, anti-Semitism or Jewish identity and education, as well as open it up for anyone to express what they feel like within the body, within the government of Israel. Broadly, we believe that, we started with the idea for a law, but we understood that consultation actually needs to take place within all areas of government. So we recommend initiating consultation within the Ministry of Diaspora Affairs, the Knesset, as well as the Minister's Cabinet. We also support the creation of a young global Jewish council that will bring young people together and ensure a new kind of dialogue in the generation forward. So these are some of the insights that we created, and we wrote a document specifying what were the insights and what our recommendations are that I can send you and you can send out to your community. And if you have any other ideas, feedback for us, you can send to us as well. And we did have a roundtable with leaders from the Australian community, and those insights were built into our recommendations.
Amazing. I think I think a lot of people would be. I certainly would be very eager or excited to read what you guys, what you learned from that experience. And I hope that, as you said, Minister, that it's something that's ongoing. So thank you, Tracy, for sharing that with us.
Thank you, Tracy.
We've got a few questions that have come through, if you don't mind. Some interesting ones over here. Let's see. Obviously, we don't have time for all of them because I've received quite a few private ones. So, in terms of, I don't know if this is something which you want to talk about or not, but obviously, there's a new American president, and obviously, American Jewry is a big part of the diaspora Jewish communities across the world. How do you feel most Israelis feel about this, the new administration? How does your government feel about it? Has there been any progress made on dialogue at this point? I know it's all very new.
I wish him bracha v'atzlacha. We're here in Israel working with all the government. I think I know that he will be a very good president for America, v'bezrat Hashem for Israel. We have good relationship, good connections, v'bezrat Hashem sheyaseh v'yatzliach. That's
very good, very good, and I think everybody wishes him well, and hopefully, as you said, for America and for the world in general. Minister, someone was asking, what do you? I mean, obviously, you said that before you got into politics, you were very much into social justice and social activities. What do you feel will be your role once you leave the ministership, or once you leave being a member for Knesset? Do you have plans at this point, or?
Yeah, and now I'm here in the office. I'm working very hard. We have still a few months to be here and to work very hard. We have a lot of plans here in the office. I believe that Be'ezrat Hashem, I took a decision this time, this elections. I thought that it's right to me and not to be part of the election this time with my party. I have my decisions. I believe that this was the right thing to do. I have to be honest. I had a few requests for different parties to be there, and I decided this time to take a short break. I believe that we need in life to take one step ahead if we're planning to take two steps forward. And I think and I know that Be'ezrat Hashem, in every place that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu will put me there, I will try to do my best for the process that I believe in, social activities to help the minorities, the marginalized societies in Israel to be part of the community, to be a productive part. I will work with Be'ezrat Hashem to connect the world Jewry to the Israeli society. I really believe in these goals. But Be'ezrat Hashem, I hope that we'll meet each other in the next future.
Thank you very much. And unfortunately, I know there are a lot of more questions, but the minister has to go to another meeting. So we want to just invite you back again, whatever role you might be in it, at whatever point you do come back, if it's still within, the time whilst you're serving as Minister of Diaspora Affairs. But I can hear just from the conversation we've had in the short, 40 minutes or so, that, as you said, wherever Hashem leads you and wherever you choose to go, you'll make an impact to those around you. And we want to wish you Hatzlacha Rabbah in the remaining months of your role. And I'm sure it's great legacy to leave behind, this consultation group, and I have no doubt it will have a lot of positive effect, please God, in the Jewish communities across the world. And again, we want to thank you. We hope that everyone in Israel stays safe. I'm just curious, how's COVID is going? Okay, things are doing all right over there at this point?
It's complicated, but we're trying. First of all, we have the vaccination mivtza here in Israel. Baruch Hashem, We hope that everyone will be part of it, and even the marginalized society will go. It's also, it's part of it. Everyone needs to be part of what the government trying to do, and we have, Baruch Hashem, the vaccination here, and we hope, Bezrat Hashem, to be out of the pandemic. But it's a process. It's not easy. Still, we have a lot of red areas, a lot of children staying at home, a lot of businesses closes. It's not easy. But I hope that we are in the right path. I want to thank you, Rabbi Rabin, and to thank the community. Thank you again for this conversation. And it was a big pleasure to be here with all of you this evening. Toda Rabba. I want to give you one message that I hope to leave you with this, that there is so much more than unite us than divide us. And it is this unity that will empower us to overcome our great challenges, whether it be in the pandemic, that we have a lot of challenges still. And I think that we need to inspire the next generation. This is also part of the challenges, or ensuring the connection between Israel and the Jewish communities around the world. So I look forward to continuing this shared mission and work with all of you, Be'ezrat Hashem. And please know that now I see myself as your others within the government of Israel. And please know that my door here always open to you. And I wish you all and your families and the communities, first of all, health. This time, I wish you a lot of health and the opportunity. I hope that we'll have the opportunity for us to come together, Be'ezrat Hashem b'smachot, and enjoy, whether Be'ezrat Hashem in Australia or here in Yerushalayim, Be'ezrat Hashem in the coming days. Thank you very much for the opportunity to meet you. Toda Rabba. Toda.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Purim Sameach for next week, and all the very best. And once again, thank you to Tracy, and we appreciate it, and wish everybody a good night, and have a wonderful rest of the week.
Toda Rabba, Purim Sameach. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely evening.